Hmm. All right, good morning, everyone. We're going to start seated on our yoga mats, and for you, if you would like to sit up on a blanket or a block for most of the seated stuff, that's perfectly wonderful. And you don't have to sit cross-legged if that bothers your knees or your hips. So you can just find another way that makes more sense, whether the legs are straight or bent or anything else that makes sense for you. Or hero pose. I know I have at least one student who will sit in hero pose on a block, which is a really lovely way to keep the spine nice and long. And if you have it, a couple blocks and a strap would be helpful. If not, I think you can work your way around it. So don't worry about it. And then, I've been brushing this morning, so I'm also trying to do like, calm down. All right, take your shoulders up to your ears. And then just squeeze them back and let them down. Good, two more just like that. Take it up. Squeeze it back and down. Last one, squeeze up and down. And then relax and let the hands rest where it feels most comfortable. Start to feel just the slightest amount of weight at the tailbone, just drawing the sacrum nice and long. And yet the chest rises, the chin level, draw that head back in space. And if you're comfortable, close your eyes. Let's start to move into the breath. The breath, the great equalizer. As we focus on our breathing, we let the nervous system know that everything is okay. It's a nice, easy breath, taking maybe a 4 count in. And pausing at the top, exhaling the count of 4. And repeating that simple pattern, equal breath in, 4 counts. Exhaling it out. We notice as we use this counted breath, we focus the mind on the breathing, we let go of external stimuli, we let go of things happening outside our present moment. Good. With your next exhale, if it is appropriate for your neck, I can let your chin drop to chest. And belly, just be mindful. Feel the back of your neck, maybe the upper shoulders, just a little bit of a stretch here. Then take your right ear to your right shoulder. Let the left fingertips come to the floor. Try to keep your body mostly upright here so that we're staying focused in this whole right side for you all. I'm mirroring here. Just notice. And then tuck the chin to the chest. Let the head roll over to the right shoulder. Go ahead and let the left fingertips come to the floor. So you got all your fingers touching the floor at some level. Breathe, relax your jaw, maybe smile a little bit. And then tuck your chin to your chest, take the head back up to neutral, pause here, draw the shoulder blades back, and maybe look over the left shoulder, just stretching through the neck here this morning. And then center, and maybe look over to the right. And center. And then take the hands and crisscross your chest, your shoulders. You can hold on to the shoulders, or you can just kind of pull down on the collarbones, whichever feels okay. And then just look kind of up, any caution here, look up toward your right. And down, look up toward the left. And down and release that, shake it out. Good. And then grab your strap. If you have it, if you don't, just use your arms. I know one of you may not have a strap with you. And just watch the buckle end if you have a really long strap. Take the arms up and exhale, just stretch behind you. Try not to over grip the strap and try to keep the wrists long. So if they're kind of crunched up and bent, just lengthen through the backs of the wrists, soften your head, your neck, and then bring it back down to your knees. Good. Inhale, reach up. Maybe you go a little bit further, maybe not, right? Depends on how long your strap is and what's going on in your shoulders. Take it back. Maybe it'll go all the way around, maybe not. Don't worry about it. Just stretching out the chest and starting to mobilize through the shoulders. If this hurts or is contraindicated for any reason for you, shoulder surgery, shoulder injury, don't do it. Just play with the arms, let go of the strap. Good, just stretching it out. Good, last one. Whether you bring it up and back or all the way behind, up to you. And then bring it back and soften. Good, take the strap back up. I want you to bend the elbows this time. And as if that strap were behind your head. If you don't have a strap, you're just doing cactus arms. And then pull the strap away just a little bit, not too much. Creating a little bit of tension here, and then take it up to the sky. Bend it again, maybe the elbows lower and up. Just 3 more here, down and up. 2 more. Don't forget to breathe. Last one, squeeze and up. And then straighten the right arm and press the left arm down toward the floor. And just stretch. And then go the other way, straightening your left arm if you're mirroring with me. And stretch. Good. One more, both sides. Take one hand toward the floor and maybe a little more of a stretch. Keep some tension on the strap. And last one, last side. One hand comes to the floor. Press the other arm. And release, take that strap in front of you and just twist over to one side, just a twist. And then take the arms up and over to the other side. Good, take it up, twist and down. Last one, take it up, twist and down. Good, and then release that strap, that's all done. Grab one block if you have it or a lot of wood. And hold that block wide width. If you don't have the block, you're just going to kind of keep the hands separated or use your strap. Take those arms up, keep the elbows trained in, bend the elbows, and take it up. Good, and just play here. So the real key is to not let the elbows splay out to the side, right? We can do that, but we don't want to do that. We want to keep them in toward the body, toward the ears, as we work just a little bit of the triceps. Breathe. And then take it up, bring those arms in front of you, bend the elbows to your side body. And notice where that block lands or your arms land. It's like doing cactus arms only in front of you, right? If we think about chaturanga, right? If we think about how the elbows press into the side body, and then just give the elbows a little squeeze or give your block a little bit of a squeeze and feel that. Draw the head neck back, watch for that excess tension. Maybe even soften the shoulders a little bit. Squeeze your block. And then press it out, lift it up, take it behind you. Press it up, bring it in front of you, squeeze it in. Maybe draw the elbows way back. Last one, bring it up. Bend the elbows back behind you, take that up, bring them in front of you, squeeze it back. Draw the chest tall, press the arms out so that the elbows are at your side body. And let go. Good job, everybody. And come on up, hands and knees, table pose. You know, for you, if you want to have a blanket underneath your knees, that's great. If you have blocks, let them be at the front of your mat. And then spread the fingers nice and wide. And find a few cats and cows here. Now, if your wrists are bothering you, go to softest or even come down to elbows for a little lower cat cow. Right, so we're starting off easy this morning, starting to warm up our spines. Noticing our breath, exhaling as that belly tucks in. Inhaling as everything rises up. Couple more. And good, last one. And up. And then if your knees allow, let's do some hip circles. So if you cannot compress through the knees to really come back, just go smaller. Just do a little bit of a smaller circle here. And then if you're able, the hips go left, body goes forward, right, and back. And just feel that body move. Let the shoulders get involved, maybe change directions. And breathe. That's it. And then the next time the hips are over to the left, just pause. Let the hips lean left and maybe look over the right shoulder. You might feel a little stretch on the outside of the left leg or hip. And then take it centered and switch to the other side. Look over your left shoulder. Breathe as the hip shift right or vice versa. And come to center. Flip your toes under, right to downward facing dog. Once you're in down dog, let's go ahead and pedal out the feet. Just shake it out a little bit. Feel what's going on in your upper body. Feel what's going on in your legs, right? Maybe shift the heels to one side, stretch that side body. And maybe shift the hips to the other side. Come back to center. Breathe. Inhale, tippy toes. Exhale, lower your knees to the floor. Step your right foot forward. If you've got blocks, take your hands to your blocks or your blocks underneath your hands and start in a nice, easy low lunge. So stretching out the left, right quadricep, the left psoas muscle. If you don't have blocks, your hands are either on the floor or on your knee. Engage the back foot and feel this nice little stretch. Find your breath, take your hands to your knee. Back off the front knee or the front foot just a little, and then take the arms up. Nice low lunge here, good solid foundation. Find your breath, open up your chest. Exhale your hands to your blocks, and then begin to straighten the front leg. It might not go all the way straight the first time, right? Just to warm that leg up. And then bend your knee. And straighten. Good. Just 3 more on this side. Bend the knee. Don't forget to breathe, everybody. And straighten. You can take the toes up with you. And bend. Last one. And straighten. Once you're straight again, I want you to hold. You don't necessarily need the blocks here. You can let the fingertips come to the floor, but we're stretching the back of this front leg. If you like the blocks, make sure you're keeping the torso long, right? So that you're not grounding into your back. And bend your front leg, set the blocks aside. Either just switch sides or lift the left knee, step back, downward facing dog. Pedal it all out, everybody. Inhale, tippy toes. Exhale, lower the knees to the floor. Step forward with the left leg. Here we are on the other side. Let those blocks be underneath your hands if you've got them and want them. And then stretch to the front of the right psoas, right thigh. Notice your pose. Body's nice and tall. When you're happy again, you know it. Clap your hands. Breathe, everybody. And then take your hands to your knee. Lift up through the torso, engage that sweet little belly, and take the arms up. And notice, right? Maybe you can press through the back foot and engage that a little bit more. Maybe you push off the front foot just a little bit. Breathe, getting a little bit more weight in the back leg. And then exhale, hands come back to your block. Here we are on this side, straighten the leg. And make it just easy, easy for 5, straighten it. And bend, good, couple more, straighten. Bend. Straighten it up. And bend. This one we're gonna hold, so straighten it, hold. Maybe level out the hips. You can lift the toes, watch the back of that extended legs meet. Open up the shoulders, maybe lengthen the torso out, right? How's it feel in your body? Warming up those little hammies. And then the front knee, everybody send your blocks away. Lift your right knee, step back down to facing dog. Find your breath. That's it. And when you're ready, I want you to look through those hands. Step forward with your right foot, and then step forward with your left foot. Find your forward fold. Use your blocks if you need to. Soften the shoulders, open it up, let that hip hang like a big old heavy grape. Bend both knees, hands to knees. Come on up. And just find your equilibrium here, right? Just pause here in a nice mountain pose. And breathe, right? So feel that. Feel that nice deep breath. There you go. Inhale, take it up. Exhale all the way down. Soften both knees. Step back with your right foot. Grab your blocks one more time. Now, your choice here, you're either going to keep your back knee off the floor or you're going to lower it down like you did before. Either one is okay. But see if you can keep the back foot relatively straight. If you need to, from an ankle leg standpoint, drop the heel, that's all right. But if you can, keep the toes straight. And then straighten the front leg. Now, here's where you get to wiggle a little, right? We wiggle the hips. We see where those hamstrings are attaching. You can feel it right up here at the sit bone. We figure out where the center line is. Press down through the big toe down. Lengthen through your spine. Now your blocks can be all the way up high. That's kind of nice for lengthening the torso, right? The elbows can soften to the floor. We're working through a variation here of pyramid pose. And then bend your front knee. If your blocks are way up high, lower them down or get rid of them. And then step back, down dog. Once you're in down dog, that down dog you should be working, right? To make sure your form is good, make sure your shoulders are supporting your pose. When you're ready, look through those hands. Step forward, right leg. And here we are again, grab the blocks. Blocks again are optional. If you're not using blocks, by the way, and it feels really hard to get to the floor, you can always take your hands to your shin or shorten your pose. That might make a big difference. And then begin to straighten the front leg, kind of glance back at your back foot. See if it can be mostly straight. Try not to overreach here. Lengthen through your spine. Really lengthen the inner line from your big toe to the inside thigh. Lengthen that line. And then press into the back leg just a little bit more. As if you could take some of the weight off your front foot. Find your breath, everybody. That's it. You can bend the elbows, you can lengthen through the back of the neck. Just try to resist over curling, right? Just breathe. And then bend your front knee, set your blocks to the side, step back, down dog. Lower your knees to the floor. Little bit of hip circles, so set your hips back, circle them around. One more big circle with the hips. And then change directions. And breathe. Good, come back to table pose. Back to downward facing dog. Use your breath. Take the feet wide on your mat. Walk those hands back, everybody. Feet are parallel, facing forward. Bend the knees. Press the knees out to that imaginary wall. And come on up again. All the way up to standing. Roll the shoulders out. Find your center line once again. Sometimes, right, especially if we're coming from head down to head up, you can go like, whoo, you know, what just happened? So you always take a second to go, okay, now I'm back to the middle, right? It's like seeing two images of something, so we don't want that. All right, blocks in the front of your mat. If you've got them, place them up on high, left foot forward, right foot back, shorter step, pyramid pose. Pyramid pose is tricky, right? Because when that front leg is straight, so bend the front knee for a moment. Don't go into a deep knee bend, just bend it for a moment. Start to draw the hips more forward, ribs, shoulders, all that stuff. Back glute engages. And then place your hands on your hips and pretend that you're a superhero. Right? It's like, here I go. Ready to go. So from here, straighten the front leg. Now, the challenge is to find the focus point, to use your breath. You're kind of on a tightrope here, but your feet should be hips width apart. And then hinge from the hips, stop halfway. Draw the left hip, that front foot hip, draw it back. Take the hands to your blocks. If you have them, if you don't, hands go to your shins or to the floor if you have that much flexibility. Maybe raise the toes of your left foot off the floor to really feel the grounding. And then wiggle a little bit, just shift the hips a little bit side to side. And notice for your body what feels centered, right? What feels like you're not leaning either to the outside or to the inside. Draw the shoulders back. And then if you've got the flexibility, go ahead and lower the blocks. Draw the elbows to side body, don't let them splay. Lengthen through the head, lengthen through the neck. Try to push a little bit more weight into the back foot. Still good, you can always move those blocks out of the way. If you have long arms like me, right? Take the fingertips to the floor. Draw that leg nice and long, push into the back leg, everybody. And then imagine that you can dig both feet into the floor. Here's the harder part. Squeeze them through the belly, really ground the feet, and see if you can come up to standing. That's a good challenge, right? That's a good balance challenge right there. And then step forward. Shake it out. You can always bend the knees. You can always land your hands, right? You don't want you tipping over just because. All right, right foot forward, left foot back. I gave you these challenges, but you can modify them any way you want. Start by a little bend in the front knee so that you can get the back leg feeling really solid. Toes are pointed out to the side a little, or another way to think about that, the heel drops in a little. Push into the back leg, then straighten the front leg. And then see hands to hips. If you can get that superhero stance, right? Imagine somebody messing with you. If you're like, come on, I'm ready. I don't know where that voice comes from. I'm ready. And breathe. All right, so from here, start to really hinge from that deep low hip. Don't hinge from the waist. Hinge from the hips. You got your blocks there that I didn't cue this time. Start with them up high. Even if I can touch hands to the floor, I like to start up high because it allows you to lengthen the torso, draw the shoulders away, push into the back foot, maybe lift the front toes off the floor to ground through the ball mound of that foot. Nice little tone to the belly here. But feel how tall you are from hip crease to crown of head. It's feeling marvelous. You can lower the blocks, usually one side of the leg is tighter than the other, so we go slow, we check it out. How's it feel? Maybe we move the blocks all the way out of the waist, let the fingertips come to the floor. Keep the inner line of the legs active and push into the back leg. Find your breath. So a lot of times when we do these poses where one leg's forward, one leg's back, we put all the weight in the front leg. So I'm inviting you to draw through the back leg a little bit more. All right, when you're ready, remember what we did. Push into both feet, like you could push them through your yoga mat. Draw the belly and see if you can lift up through your torso and come back to standing. Shake it out. That was trickier on that side for me. It might have been a little more narrow in my stance, I'm not sure. So we've been playing a lot with balance. We got the handies a little bit warmed up. Come back to that in a little bit. But I want you to come to the back of your mat. And Betty and I have done this. Betty, I think, was the first one to show it to me. Come to the back of your mat, look forward, don't look at your feet, and step heel to toe, like you're walking on a tightrope. Very, very wide tightrope. And when you get to the front of your mat, pause. Easy, easy. If you need to be near a wall, take the wall. And then go backwards. Feel your mat. Find your point in front of you. Come to the back of your mat. You'll know because you step right, you'll feel the difference under your foot. All right, so heel toe forward again, halfway up. Halfway up, squeeze the inner thighs, right? The knees squeeze towards each other. Hold your tightrope line. This is a tightrope line. Notice what the toes are doing. You can see me wobbling, right? Find the spot. Use the hands. If you need to, use the arms. Squeeze in. Now engage the back glutes a little more. Yeah, breathe. And then 1 foot forward. Gotta do both sides. Squeeze in. Find your breath. Interesting again, this side a little easier than the other side. I find that very interesting. And then release it, everybody, shake it out. I find that very, very interesting. Okay. But I find a lot of things interesting that a lot of people don't. All right, so you're back to the front or the back of your mat. This time your feet are wider. I want you to bend the knees a little bit. Be mindful of your knees. I want you to peel off your left foot and lift it. And then step it forward, heel, and then toe. And then lean into that foot, the knee is bent, lift the other. Balance work, everybody. We've been playing with balance for 3 classes now. Heel, toe, lean in, lift up. Breathe. Heel, toe, forward, lift. Breathe. And then just lower down and stand tall. So the knees stay bent the whole time. Going backwards, be mindful that you just want stuff behind you there. All right, so you're going to bend both knees. Those feet or hips width apart. I hold on to cans. I don't know why, right? Little like right, little grip work there. And then the same thing. Lean into 1 foot, heel the other. This time it's going to be toe, heel, lean back. That's harder. See if you can lift. Breathe. Step back. If you step back too far, it gets harder. Keep our ball mount, heel, peel off. See if you can lift. Good. Back, heel, lift. Woo! And release. Shake it out, everybody. Right? That's kind of fun. This is stuff that you can do at home when you're bored. Come on back to your mat. Oh, okay. Betty's like, we got one more. Betty's my teacher today. So stand up. Stand on one edge of your mat. If I understood her correctly, she did a quick demo over there. Hands to hips or out. I want you to step over an imaginary rail. Okay, so with this leg, you're going to step up, step over, little squat, step over and stand. Step over, squat, step over, land. Let's do one more on this side. Step over, squat, over and land. Let's go the other way. Over. I should have her demo in this. And squat and over, squat. I'm trying to watch her while I do it. Over, woo, and stop. All right, shake it out. You weren't stepping over both sides. That's what I was doing wrong. Okay, back to your mat, everybody. Good job. Inhale, take it up. Exhale all the way down. Bend both knees, step back, downward facing dog. Spread through the fingers, everything that you know, everything that I've taught you, you got this. Engage that upper back. Inhale, tippy toes. Exhale, lower the knees to the floor. Step forward, right leg. Breathe. Your hands can go to your blocks. Blocks can stay low or medium, not all the way up. From here, slip toes under. Lift the knee, straighten the front leg. Once again, we're in that same pose. I've been doing a lot of repeats through classes lately, just really trying to create some muscle memory for all of us. Breathe. Bend your front knee. Short hop forward, drop your back heel, pyramid pose. Lengthen your torso, find the pose. Breathe. Bend your front knee. Now, I went out there without blocks. Please be careful here. Everybody else, walk the blocks forward. Push off your standing leg and lengthen and lift the other leg. Big deep breath. Lower that leg right next to the other. Bend both knees. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Nice job. Here we go. Inhale, reach up. Exhale all the way down. Soften the knee, step back with your right leg. Lower the knee to the floor. Get your hands to your blocks. Find your breath. Here we are. Straighten the front legs. Find that low lunge to a kind of half pyramid. Breathe. Nice length through the torso. Bend the front knee. Betty, you're going to be long there. Lift your right knee. Hold that nice lunge straight in the front leg. Breathe. Really lengthen torso, everybody. Find your pose. When you're ready, you're going to bend the front knee, shorten the pose, pyramid pose. Adjust the block so that your torso stays long. Use your breath. Lengthen through the back of the neck, soft shoulders, everybody. And last one, bend the knees, walk hands or blocks forward, lift off, step up. Find that nice solid balance pose. Lower the foot, bend both knees, and come to standing. Woo! Shake it out. Right? Just breathe. All right, come to the front end of your mat, you're facing so that you've got the long mat in front of you. I want you to just step out, bend into a squat, keep the knees out, step up and center. Same thing, one more, step out, go slow, bend into a good solid squat, stand up, step in. Two more, the other leg. When you're ready, step out, bend into a squat, push off, come center. Last one, step out, bend into squat, come up, and center, shake it out. So all of these things, we've been talking about balance, we've been talking about preventing falls, right? So all this movement, whether you're going sideways, forward, right, over something, right? It all matters because you're teaching each leg to do the work, to find the center of gravity, and to hold you more or less upright. So can't say that enough about the legs. Keep your legs and hips working. All right, here we go. Round 3. Do what you can do. If it's starting to hurt the knees, maybe take a break between, have your blocks nearby, because we're going to do the same thing we just did, only we're going to take one arm out, so balance works some more. Okay, inhale, take it up. Exhale, take it down. Nice forward fold here, right? Even that forward fold should feel really good. Bend the knees, big step back into lunge with your right foot. Lower the knee. Inhale, reach the arms up. Breathe. Find that low lunge. As you exhale, hands to the blocks. Straighten the front foot. Low lunge, moving into kind of a half pyramid. Bend the front knee. Flip the toes under. You're in a high lunge. So if you notice, for the most part, the footing stays the same. Straighten the front leg. Wiggle out the hips. Find your center. You can even lift that those toes and part of that foot off the floor. Dig into the heel. Press into your back leg. If that front foot is raised, lower, bend the knee. The best way to transition is by bending that knee. Short hop up. The heel drops center. Make sure the feet are wide enough. Make sure you're not on the tightrope. Good, breathe. Nice pyramid pose, everybody. You can take your hands to blocks or your hands to the floors. Feel the inner line from big toe to inner groin. Breathe. If you got blocks, use them. Bend the front knee. Here's our transition again. Walk the blocks forward. Push into the standing leg. Lift the other leg. Don't overlift. So if your right leg is lifted, take the left arm up and back. So off the block and back toward the hip. Open up the shoulder. Find your breath. Straightening poses, all of them. Hand goes back to your block. Lower the leg next to the other leg. Bend the knees, hands to knees. And come on up. Take it out. Right? Good stuff. Good stuff. I was talking to one of my family members when we were kids. Like, you all will have to comment after class. Does anybody remember Fluffernutter sandwiches? If your mother was a good mother, she did not feed them to you. We ate them all the time. My mother was a good mother, but they were basically peanut butter, and the Fluffernutter part was basically soft marshmallows. And so it was white Wonder Bread, Jiffy peanut butter, marshmallow topping, another piece of bread, childhood delight. I've since made my dishes lots of money. All right, come on back. Here we go. Second side. This is a piece of cake. Our bodies know what we're gonna do. Inhale, reach up. Don't forget to breathe. Exhale down. Soften, soften, soften. Step back with your left leg. Nice lunge here. Find your distance. Make sure you're wide enough. And then lower the knee. Now, if lowering and lifting is really hard, stay lifted, maybe. When you're ready, take the hands to the knee. Raise the arms up. Nice lunge. Use your breath, soften your jaw, find that inner smile. That's it. Hands come down to your blocks, front leg straight. So lots and lots of options here. I didn't say this on the other side, but you can always stay with me down. You don't have to go to the high parts if you don't want to. Breathe. Bend your front knee. Here's our transition. Lift the back knee. First, find the lunge. And then straighten the front leg. Lengthen soft shoulders. Watch the back of the neck. Even here, I tend to look up more than I should. Really, you're looking kind of at your big toe or just toward the front of the mat, depending on where you are. Breathe. Transition, front knee bends. Short hop forward, drop the back heel. Here we are, pyramid pose. Woo, get nice and long, everybody. Nice stretch for these hamstring muscles. Just breathe. Remember the back foot, don't weight everything to the front. Bend your front knee, transition, walk the blocks forward. Make sure you feel steady. Push off the front leg, engage the back leg, stay right at the center of that foot. Release the right arm optionally. Breathe. You got it. Lower the hands. Lower the foot right next door to the other. Bend the knees, hands to knees. Come on up. Woo. And just take a walk. Just shake it off. Just shake it off, everybody. Grab a drink of water if you so choose. It's a lot of work, right? It's a lot of work for the hips, for the legs, but every day in every way. We're getting stronger and stronger. Just breathe. I forget where I first heard that. Every day in every way, I'm getting stronger and stronger, or better and better, right? All right, so nice, easy pose, feet or hips width apart or slightly wider. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands come to your heart. Little chair pose. Talk about chair pose all the time. As you lift the chest, make sure that the lower back isn't taking the weight. Your tailbone should be long enough. Now, for some of you, you already have a flattish lower back, so I'm not going to say curl your tailbone unless you're dumping into the low back, which means your behind's way out and you feel it here. If you feel it in the low back, lengthen your tailbone or draw the low belly in. Take the arms out. Find your wrap. Breathe. Stand all the way up. Exhale, let go. Shake it out. Final balance pose. Find a wall if you would like. I always have my little default wall, so it's there if I need it. All right. So airplane pose. We've been kind of playing around it a little bit. We're going to approach it a little differently. Usually we're back here and we lift off that way. Today, we're going to start in a chair-ish pose. So your feet are hips width apart. You have a wall or a piece of furniture somewhere near you. You're going to start in what feels like a chair pose, maybe not as deep as your usual, right? Take your hands to your heart. Feel the feet press into the big toe mounds. Find your breath. You're going to reach the arms back. Maybe this is where you stay, right? Think of that superhero pose, and now we're like, woo, flying through the air. 1, you're here. 2, you're peeling 1 foot off, find your still point. And as you're ready, body tilts forward. Other leg lifts. Breathe. Lower. Chair pose. Stand up. Right? Doesn't matter how high your leg is, right? Nobody's here to show off. Everybody's here to find what we can do today. No big deal. You're in, you're out, as long as you're here. Hardest part, getting on your mat. From there, it's gravy. All right, other side. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to heart, chair pose. Don't go too deep. So you gotta find the balance between the front body going one way and the back body going the other way. Press the hands back. Find your still point. Peel the foot off. Maybe you tap. And then you lift. And breathe. Try to stay in the middle of that foot. Keep that standing leg super engaged. Lower down. Chair pose. Stand up. Good job, everybody. Just go wide on your mat. Toes forward. Come on down, forward fold. Let's breathe. Now, even in your forward fold, if you can, draw the elbows parallel to each other as if you could press the elbows to the legs instead of out to the sides. That's it. Nice length through your spine, everyone. A little bit of squeeze to the inner thighs. Maybe the hands walk out so that the arms are really long. Keep the weight in the feet though. Find your breath. And then walk the hands in, heel toe the feet, and then come on up to standing. Good, step those legs together, shake it out. Coming to the floor. All right, we're going to down dog. How do you normally get to down dog from standing, right? If you think about it for you, you don't have a teacher in front of you, you're going to down dog, how do you get there? Let's do it. Inhale up. You find your path or follow me. Hands down, soften. One leg steps back. Other leg steps back. Find your breath. Good down dog, everybody. If your body allows, you're going to hold this pose from a straight standpoint. So you hold on to the imaginary beach ball. Engage the back muscles. Imagine the elbows, they are not splaying out to the side. They are straight up and down as if you were holding a beach ball between them. Find your breath. We used to play with down dog and holding it for a minute or longer. It is a wonderful straight pose. Softness to the knees, sit bones high. Use your breath. You got this, everybody. You press into the rack of knuckles on your hands. Try not to put all the weight in the base of the palms, okay? And tippy toes. Lower your knees to the floor. And either comes a child's pose or a hero pose or a sideline pose, whatever works for you. Find your breath. Find your breath. You got it. Good. Shake out the wrists if they're chatty. You can always give them a good squeeze. I like to do that. I'll squeeze, excuse me, right where the wrists meet the hands. Sometimes you'll feel a little bone adjustment there. Don't squeeze too hard. All right, come on up, everybody. Grab one block. We're going to play the chaturanga. Not everybody's favorite, I know, but elbow stuff, right? So when we're in chaturanga, or when we're going to chaturanga, we go from hands out to elbows in, right? And a lot of times you'll see, especially, you know, the magazines and stuff, that when you're going from here to here, these arms and elbows make a 90-degree angle. I can't say for me that I always do. It doesn't feel really strong to me. So I will be less than that. Here's the challenge. When you're coming from, say, plank or half plank to chaturanga, what happens is people dive shoulders forward and elbows back. And that's what we want to try to avoid, is this kind of thing happening. So we want to go here, all of this strong, and lower down from there. Does that make sense? So I want you to start by grabbing a block. And we've done this, if you've been with me in classes, we've done this a whole bunch. Take the block up top. That block's going to land somewhere around the center of your chest bone. Don't let it land on your belly, it'll feel terrible. And then plant the hands. You're on your knees. You're going to drop your hips forward. And then you're going to hold the imaginary beach ball. I use that cue all the time. You're going to squeeze some in between the elbows, but keep the shoulders wide and the upper arms externally rotated. And then you're going to come over the block, and you're not going to let the elbows splay out. See how yours are going out a little bit? Yeah. So you're going to bring them in and then hit the block. Don't drop the head and come back up. Just squeeze the elbows in and land up. One more. Squeeze the elbows and up. And then release and drop the block by one. So all we're doing is this and this, right? We're just not letting them go out. And I'm exaggerating, but we're not letting them go here, because then we go deep, we deep dive. Okay. All right, same thing. Just 3 times. Hands, elbows. Keep the head looking out, not down. That's another thing with this pose. So when you're ready, elbows in, tap, and lift. And tap, lift, and tap, and lift. Now, if you are comfortable either with the block or a blanket over the block. So I'll show you with a blanket or a towel if you have it. If you don't worry about it. We're not going to hang out. But if you had a blanket, you're just throwing it over the block to soften the edges of your block. So I want you to come to your block like we did before, lower, but this time hold. Okay, and if it feels horrible, let go. And then draw the elbows in, squeeze, lift the knees, and there's chaturanga, right? Sort of. And then lower the knees and come up. And breathe. Lower the block by one, listen up. Do you have a strap? This is a terribly late clue or cue, so sorry about that. If you have a strap, put it into a loop. If you don't have a strap, don't worry, be happy. Because you don't need it, but I want you to just feel something. So put your strap in a loop. The loop is going to be roughly shoulder, elbow apart. If it's too tight, it'll feel terrible. If it's too loose, it will be ineffective. So put the loop above the elbows. Make sure it's not too wide so that you're holding the beach ball, whether you like it or not, right? Because you can't splay the elbows out. And then if you lower, there we are at that roughly 90-degree angle, right? So you've got your block, maybe take it back up to second level so you don't go too low. Your hands go over in front of the block. You're going to just bend the elbows and let the strap catch you. Like a little hammock. And breathe. And then push up from there. Couple more. Just bend. If you hit the block, fine. If you don't worry about it. I'm not getting anywhere near it. And bend and push up. And then let go of the strap. For some, that's a little aha. For others, it's like, yeah, I don't like that at all. So move the block out of the way. Just, we're done with the block. No more training moves. Elbows stay in. Hands halfway. Elbows in, shoulders wide. You're not looking down at your mat. You're looking forward to the edge of your mat. Think about somebody pulling your elbows straight back to your hips. All I want you to do is come to the floor, but go slow. You ready? Behinds down. Here we go. Take it down. Did you exhale? No! I held my breath the whole time. Good. Push up. Just push up. Somebody said to me, I've heard it a million times, but somebody said it recently, sometimes you gotta fake it till you make it. All right, we're doing 3 more, darlings. All I want you to do is go slow. If you run out of power, you run out of steam, just drop the rest of the way down. It's okay. But try not to shoulder dive or butt lift or any of those things that we do when it's getting hard. Here we go. Ready? Tone the belly in. Look a little forward. Squeeze the elbows towards each other. Take a breath in. Exhale, slowly come down. Just release it. And push back up. One more. Squeeze in. I lift my knees, or I lift my feet because that feels better on my knees. If you don't like that, I have one friend who likes to keep her feet down. So here we go, last one. Squeeze in, lengthen, lower. And release it down. Come into Sphinx pose. I know, summertime, summertime. Turn the palms face up. Curl the wrists in. And release. Curl them in. And release. Good, 3 more. Curl, nice and strong. Release. Curl in. Release. Last. And release. And then come all the way down. Lengthen your thighs and press into your pubic bone. Take the hands on either side of your shoulders. And then draw the elbows together, right? So a little pattern here of drawing the elbows back instead of out to the sides. So draw the elbows back and lift up into a low, super low cobra. Just take the chest, head, neck off the floor. And then lift the hands off. And breathe. Maybe lift the legs a little bit. How does that feel? If you start to sit in the low back, lower the legs. Reach the hands back, palms face up. And breathe. Let the right foot come down, but keep the left leg lifted. Breathe. Take the right arm forward, keep the left arm back. Little bit of coordination work, brain work, cross body work. Breathe. Bring the right arm back. Lift the right leg. Lower the left. Breathe. Reach forward with the left. So your left foot's on the ground, your left arm is reaching forward, right leg up. Breathe. Oh. Take them back, lift all 4. All 4 back. Both arms forward. Both arms back, hang in there. Lower down. Shake it out, everybody. Bend the knees. Windshield wiper the legs. Just breathe. All right, everybody should be pretty much back to neutral, back to normal. If you have a strap, grab your strap. Keep it where you can grab it and turn onto your backs. What are you doing? Pause here, right? Feet are on the floor. Shoulders are on the floor. Find your breath. Grab your strap. Make sure you have the buckle end in your hand so it does not hit you in the body or the face. Good. Hold on to the strap. You're pretty wide. Take them up to the ceiling. Let the arms go back behind you. Palms will be face up. Find your breath. And then take them up. Bring them back to your knees or your thighs. Get up. And back down again. Good, take it up. Hold the arms back and behind. And then keep a slight tension on the strap as you slide both arms to the left. So your right arm is going to come up over your ear. Your left arm is going to pull down toward your hip, depending on how long your strap is. Breathe. And center, and other side, got a wall in the way on this one. Your right arm goes down toward the hip, the left arm goes up and over your ear. Good, center. Bend your left foot, hook your foot with the strap, take that leg up to the ceiling. Nice straight leg. Straighten the right leg as an option. Hamstrings should be pretty wide open here. Draw the shoulders down and then lift the right leg as if you were doing pyramid pose in the air. So your right leg is lifted, I don't know, a certain amount. It should feel like you're working that bottom leg. The top leg is nice and straight as if you were stepping on the ceiling. Both feet are flat. If you can, let go of the strap, just reach for that left foot. Breathe. Pyramid pose. Yep, a lot of work for the legs, especially the lower one. Good. Hold your strap. Lower the right leg back to the floor. Breathe. Take the strap in your left hand, let the left leg go out to the left, little inner thigh stretch. Take it up, grab the strap with your right hand, take it across. Does not have to go far across to get a stretch. Breathe. Notice how much more freely your breath is moving, right? We've moved through the body, we've released a lot of stagnation. And take the left leg up. Listen up. You're going to reach up with the right leg, hook it in. Release the left leg and bring it to the floor. You're holding on to that strap. The shoulders are down. Simple little stretch, tone the belly. And when you're ready, you're going to lift the left leg so that it is mimicking a pyramid pose as if you were stepping on the floor. You can even kind of look at your legs. If you lift your head up for a second, you can see what the legs are doing. Breathe. If it's okay, just let the strap go. Reach for the foot. Breathe. Yeah, there's a certain point where that lower leg has to work pretty darn hard to hold it there. If you go lower or higher, it's easier. There's a certain spot. The sweet spot. Grab your strap. Lower the left leg. Strap goes in the right hand. The right leg goes out to the side. Breathe. And then bring the leg to center, grab the strap with the left hand, take the right arm or right leg across. A little stretch here, stretching that outer hip. That's it, everybody. Just breathe. Take it up to center. Grab or take your left foot, bring it to the center, bring the soles of the feet together. You've got the strap around the outside of the feet. Pull the strap to center, come into Badakanasana. Soles of the feet together. They can either hover, right? Kind of hover it up near the groin, or you can keep the strap but lower the feet to the floor and come into just a barely bound Badakanasana. Shoulders soften. You can either hold the strap or you can let it go. Either one. If the feet stay together easily, you don't have to hold the strap. And the palms go face up at your sides. The low back is nice and long. So make sure you're not overarching here. If this bothers your knees at all, go ahead and just straighten the legs. Take a really deep breath in, everybody. And when you exhale, the legs will soften. Go ahead and take a deep breath in. Soften it down. One more big deep breath. And soften. And then use the hands to the outer thighs to draw those knees in. You're going to release that strap from your feet. And I want to give you just a weird little option here. So you've got the strap, and you can either take your loop, it's probably about the same size loop, feed both legs through it, and just let that loop stay at your mid thighs. Or you can just kind of tie the strap around you if you don't have the loop. And then you're going to straighten both legs. So the strap contains the legs. So it's kind of a weird, interesting thing. It's a type of a bind that allows the legs to relax because they can't go anywhere. It's kind of weird. It's like swaddling a baby. Right? There's a calmness in that swaddling. And it's kind of the theory behind this. If you don't like it, if it doesn't feel good, either adjust the strap or take it out completely. And if it feels good to you, go ahead and straighten the legs. I want you to squeeze everything in the center, give it a good squeeze. And then exhale, let go. And find Shavasana, everyone. Soften everything down. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Allow your jaw to come completely flat. Maybe close the eyes. Maybe come back just for a breath or two to that softer 4-count breath in and back out again. Feel your whole body soften. Feel the breath moves through so softly. Surrender your whole body to your mat. And soften even more. For those of you ready, just start to wiggle toes and fingers. Very slowly, draw your knees up to your chest. Rock side to side. And then allow those knees to roll to one side or the other. Curl over to fetal pose. And then press all the way up. Coming to your seated pose. I think I could have stayed in Shavasana for a long time this morning. Bring your hands to your heart, everyone. Know that every day, in every way, you are getting better and better. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste, everyone.